Hello everybody, Pete here from the Irish Times. The Christmas New Year period is generally a happy period for most people, but for me it's a bit of a sad time. It's a time that I remember a man, an honourable man, who lost his life tragically in Thailand, and today I'm going to tell you that story. So to tell this story I need to go back to the year 2014, 6 years ago. I got a job teaching at a tutoring school in Nonthaburi. Nonthaburi is a neighbouring province of Bangkok. It's pretty much like a suburb of Bangkok now at this stage. So I got a job there on Saturday mornings. It was a weekend job, and the job involved teaching English, but a lot of it was teaching English through playing sports. We played a lot of football, baseball, gymnastics, swimming, and it was cooking classes as well. So I was teaching English through baking cakes and stuff like that. It was a fun job. And the manager of the language school, tutoring school, was a guy called Neil. Well, for the sake of the story, we're going to call him Neil. It's not his real name. I don't want to name his real name. Now, Neil was from Canada, and he had been, at this stage, he had been in Thailand about 15 years. He was a very hard-working man. He had saved up a lot of his money, and he had bought 2 condos over here. He had a long-term girlfriend, and he had 2 very young kids. At the time, they would have been about 3 and 4, around that age. Now, Neil, I would describe Neil as having a quite strong personality. He was very much like an alpha male. You knew where you stood with him. Physically he was a very big man, and he was into a lot of exercise. He would do a lot of boxing, and he was about 42 years old as well. 42 years old. And he was the type of guy that you respected, and you feared him a little bit as well, because you knew you couldn't, you had to follow the rules. He wasn't the type of guy that would let you come in 5-10 minutes late. You know, he'd give you a dressing down when you needed it, but he'd also praise you and tell you were doing a good job when you did a good job as well. So that's the type of guy that he was. He did butt heads with a few people, and you could say not everybody liked him. He did have his enemies, only because of his management style, and I think he was right the way he ran things. I think he did a great job. So around Christmas 2014, the owner of the language school wanted to put on a big Christmas party for everybody. The owner was a Thai owner, and she didn't believe in supplying any alcohol for the party. She just didn't believe in alcohol for whatever reason. But Neil, who wanted to show his appreciation to everybody for doing a good job all year, he was saving up his money to supply us with alcohol for the party. He wanted to have beer towers. So that's the type of guy he was, generous, thinking about other people all the time. So the night of the party, we were laughing, we were joking. Neil supplied all the beer towers. We all had a good time. It was a great experience. It was good fun. And I went home at about 10 o'clock because I had work the next day, and it was a long journey back from where I was living at the time. And I never said goodbye to him. I never said goodbye when I was leaving, because I knew if I went over to his table and I said goodbye, he would have pulled me down and sat me down and said, "Come on, stay longer, stay longer." So I never got to say goodbye to him when I left. So on Monday, the next day, I got a phone call from a colleague to tell me that Neil had a motorcycle accident on the way home from the Christmas party and tragically lost his life. And at the time I was just I was just completely shocked, because I didn't even know he had a motorbike. He used to have a car, he used to have a Jeep, because he used to drop me to the bus stop or drop me to the subway station after work on a Saturday. I never saw him on a motorcycle ever. So I was completely shocked. And so what happened was, well, we don't really know the full story, but this is what we think. Neil rode his motorcycle about 10 kilometers in the wrong direction from where he was supposed to be, where his home is. And he rode his motorcycle up onto a bridge that wasn't finished, wasn't constructed yet. And when he got up to the top of the bridge, the road was gravel, and he skidded on top of the bridge, and he hit the wall, and he went over the handlebars, and he went over the wall, and he fell about 30-40 meters down onto the concrete underpass beneath it. And it was a quiet road there, the part of Nonthaburi that he fell in, had to crash in. He was there for a while before anyone found his body, and he passed away. I'm just gonna stand up. I'm in the sun here, I'm getting fried, my Irish skin. Sit down here. Okay, so on the day of the funeral, it was 2 days before Christmas, and Neil's parents came over from Canada, and his mother was just distraught, absolutely distraught, devastated. Everybody was. So tough. So I spoke to Neil's girlfriend at the funeral. She told me that on the day of the party that Neil had to work, and he planned to go straight from work when he finished at 5 p.m. to the Christmas party. And she told me that he woke up 15 minutes late, and he went down onto the street to take a taxi because he knew he was going to be drinking, and he couldn't get a taxi in time, and he didn't want to be late for work. So he ran back upstairs into the house, into the bedroom, and took the motorcycle keys, and then he went down and rode his motorcycle to work. And she felt very guilty, because she said she heard him come into the bedroom, but she was half asleep, and she felt guilty that she didn't stop him, because she knew he was going to drink. So I made this vlog today as a tribute to the man, because I felt that after he passed away, he wasn't really spoken about again. It's like people just forgot about him. But I didn't forget about him. I think about him every year, especially this time of year. I still can't bring myself to delete his number in my phone. He was an honourable man. I respected him a lot. He helped me out, he gave me great advice. And the part that gets me the most is that he had 2 young children, and we used to sit having our lunch break together, and he used to tell me about all the plans he had for his kids, to get them into sports, to get them to join football teams and do some boxing. And that's the part that always gets me, that his kids they'll never have that now. And that really, really gets to me when I think about it. It's just terrible. Like, he was a good man, and people might say, well, he shouldn't have got on his motorcycle drunk, and you're right, he made a mistake, and that mistake cost him his life. So if there's one message that I can get across to you is, don't drink and drive. It's just not worth it. See, this man lost his life over it. He lost everything. He paid the ultimate price, and he was a good man. He wasn't a fool. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.